Good evening, my friends. You are interested in the mysterious, the unknown, the unexplainable. For that is why you are here. Now, for the first time, we are bringing you the full untold history, the events that we are bringing to you to demonstrate, beyond any doubt, the existence of the supernatural, the paranormal. Yes, my friends, are your hearts ready for the mysterious unknown to be revealed?
You see anything, old sport?
Yes. I see wonderful things.
Lovecraft.
Howard, we're fucking done, son.
What's done?
We're gonna fucking close up the goddamn shop.
Again, sir?
No, don't you fucking sweet talk me, goddammit. This is the big one. There's no way a fucking rag can compete with those Hollywood sons of bitches. I saw this film last week. Nosferatu. It was fucking brilliant. We can't compete with that jazz. We're through.
We just need to offer the readers something they can't get with moving pictures. They've no sound outside a live orchestra. We just need to offer better quality stories. Maybe some fantastic artwork.
We need new fucking jobs. There is no fucking way that we can solve this children's rag outside a fucking miracle, Howard.
What if we had a guest writer with a powerfully fantastic story that incorporates some popular trends right now?
What do you have in mind, Howard? Charlie Chaplin telling blood-sucking ghost stories? Maybe get Max Ernest to do some Papa art.
Dada.
What the hell did you just say to me?
Never mind. What about Harry Houdini and his occult exploits?
What the holy Jesus on a rubber crutch would be right for an asswipe like Weird Tales?
He's a draw. He's seen things, and he's my friend.
Yeah? Well, as long as he ain't as nutty as that fruitcake from Texas.
He's certainly a card that needs dealt with, but he's not mad, just overzealous.
Jealous of what?
No, zealous. Never mind. A draw like him could really bring in the readers, sir, not to mention his own fan base. It's truly an auspicious juncture.
Suspicious?
I'll talk to Harry.
There sure is a great turnout. I guess it doesn't matter what I do. People still want the Handcuff King.
Mr. Houdini, you aren't just some busker. You're history.
I don't think anyone will remember me for this jazz. I'm a fake. The first man to fly a plane in Australia? That's history. That's what people will remember me for.
You don't know that, Mr. Houdini. You're not done quite yet. You still have time to outdo yourself.
I suppose that's true. Okay, Mrs. Houdini. Time to get into character.
Bump a nose, Mr. Houdini.
That's how clowns say, good luck.
I love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Handcuff King, Mr. Houdini.
Good evening, folks. It's so nice to be back in Attleboro, visiting the Mason Avenue Police Station. It's been at least 13 years since I've had the pleasure to escape from such a poorly made jail cell. But with my escape, Chief Martin Feeney has made several improvements. Isn't that correct, Chief?
That is correct, Mr. Hardin. Houdini. Excuse me? That's right. All the latest and greatest modern investments with genuine stalwart iron works. Iron. And bona fide Yale lock and deadbolt.
That's absolutely gangbusters. I'd also like to invite everyone to the Elm Theater after tonight's performance to see my latest feature, The Man from Beyond. Chief, if you'd like to be so kind.
It would be my distinct honor.
Now what the hell is going on?
Something isn't right. It seems like we've been set up.
What are all these flyers?
Aren't they from the studio?
Why, that little...
What is it?
Dash Hardin. He's got a show next week.
Theodore? Or of all the sneaky, unheard tricks?
That was pretty clever.
Oh, Harry, you don't suppose that explosion...
My press? Rats.
It's open.
Reverend Monsignor Lammeter.
Call me Father George, my son.
Father George, I'm so happy you've made it back. How was your trip?
It's been an incredible few months, Miss Smith. It all started right here at your resort with baked tilapia.
Thank you so much for coming. I've had quite the adventure myself. This vacation is on me this time. Is it possible we can sit and chat for a little while? I've much to tell you.
For an all-expense-paid vacation, we can sit and chat as long as you'd like.
What would you fancy to drink?
I don't suppose you have any scotch?
I certainly do.
Miss Smith?
Bring up the good scotch and a couple of tumblers, please.
Ice, Miss Smith?
Father?
Please.
Yes, please.
As you wish.
Your paintings are absolutely haunting, Miss Smith. How can you work with all these hangings up all the time?
I rotate them, Father. Sometimes I sell them, some go to gallery shows, some I store, and some I just paint over.
Like a pentimento.
I don't know if I should use that term that the masters used.
It's actually an Italian verb for repentance.
That is correct.
Where do you come up with your material?
It's whatever the music tells me.
Even the Hand of Glory?
That was more of an extra... You know what that is?
We have much to discuss, Miss Smith.
Miss Smith?
Uncanny timing, Jonathan. Please, bring it here to the desk.
Very good, madame.
2 pieces of ice, please.
Yes, Father. Miss Smith?
No ice, please.
Anything else, ma'am?
That'll be all for now. You may tuck into lunch if you'd like. Afterwards, please help Lydia in the kitchen. I'll ring for you if your assistance is required.
As you wish.
This is exactly what the Pope decreed.
Father, I don't mean to put you on the spot while you're resting here, nor do I want to make you have to work.
Don't worry about it, child. All you're doing is keeping me in suspense.
I've recently come into contact with things I've only read about, before coming to the church with my faith. I was in a group called the Golden Dawn. It was a Hermetic order. It was very deep into the mysteries. Now, what I'm having trouble with is, I've kind of left those schools of thought behind in order to devote my faith to our Lord Jesus. But those same disciplines may help me and my colleagues with these new developments.
So you're asking if you can leave the church to further this hypothesis?
No, not leave it. More like blend the school and faith together. I recently worked and spoke with a powwower. Pennsylvania Dutch and the States have been able to successfully merge 2 separate belief structures to great effect.
Would this Golden Dawn and Catholicism be effective in a similar fashion?
I don't know. That's really what's making me nervous. But the fact still remains that it would prove to be useful if returned to it, and possibly be beneficial to my colleagues and I.
I think God, in His infinite wisdom, knows that when people need assistance, that He will guide them. He may have exposed you to this particular order to help you now. And I'm confident in saying, as long as your ultimate goal is in His glory, not yours, He should certainly be on your side, especially if these new developments are on the side of Lucifer.
So you think it'll not offend the Almighty?
How else are you to battle these forces of darkness, Miss Smith?
I would have never expected that the forces of darkness were more than just a metaphor.
No, my child. There are forces out there that go beyond metaphors. There are creatures out there that are seeking out the end of the world, and there is only so much we can do, with or without fate.
Father, you know what I'm speaking of?
All too well, I'm afraid. I told you, we have things to discuss. I wasn't going to just chit-chat about your paintings. Now, I believe a few Our Fathers and Hail Marys are in order. Yes, Pixie?
Of course, Father. Thank you.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. This is the documents for the acquisition of the turbine, and these are the speedometers.
Speedometer, Mr. Bud.
Of course. Are you working on anything else new?
Always. I'm not sure they would benefit what you may be manufacturing, but I've several things in the works.
Well, if you do come up with something, I may be interested in it. I have another 1,500 plus royalties awaiting you. What are you going to do with all that money, Mr. Tesla?
I've been working on a long-range radio transmitter device that my funds were recently pulled from. My idea is to send transmissions out into outer space.
Why, Mr. Tesla, there ain't nothing out there. You trying to get in touch with little green moon men?
Not exactly. It's more of a mapping experiment that I've been toying with.
If you find anything out there, keep it to yourself, yeah?
I'm sure if there was life outside of Earth's atmosphere, we'd have come in contact with it by now.
Well, if the supernatural is what you're looking for, I got some incredible ghost stories.
Oh? I wouldn't mind hearing some yarns or two. Am I using that correctly?
Sure are. I would start with my ex-wife.
Oh, Mr. Bud, I didn't know. Was she ill?
Oh, no. She's alive and kicking, Mr. Tesla. The thing is, she's got a mug that'll haunt the house.
I see. Very amusing. Tesla.
Doc? You're back. That's wonderful. I just got back into town. I didn't think you'd be back yet.
I wasn't up for staying long. I wanted to get back and work.
What's wrong, Doc? You sound like there's something wrong.
Well, yes, but it's unimportant. I just need to work. Keep my mind focused on things right now.
Doc?
Yes, Kenneth?
Where's Luca? I don't hear her.
I'm afraid I've got to get back to work, Kenneth.
Oh, Doc. I'm so sorry. I'll take a taximeter cabriolet.
Take a hansom. They're better for the environment.
Read chapters 5 and 6 for tomorrow, and I'll be in the office on Wednesday, but not Thursday.
Dr. Kane?
Howard! How are you, old man? What a pleasant surprise. Have you eaten?
No, not yet.
Please join me. I'm famished.
I'm afraid this isn't just a visit, Dr. Kane.
Of course it isn't. We have much to discuss with the substance you sent. But I never go to the lab on an empty stomach. Them's the rules. I love this place. The fireplaces are so inviting. Their Vienna roast and split pea soup are to die for.
Hello, Dr. Kane. How are you and your friend today?
Daisy, my dear, this is Howard. We're doing well. And yourself?
I'm good today. That gentleman that just left there gave me $1 tip.
I'm not surprised, Daisy. You're very good at what you do. Your pleasant disposition adds to the overall experience here at Bickford's.
Thank you, Doctor. Do you know what you want? If you need a minute, can I get you drinks?
Howard, lemonade?
Coffee, please.
I'll have a lemonade, Daisy. Light on the ice, please.
I'll be right back, Dr. Kane.
Regular?
Daisy's in my anatomy class.
Did you have an opportunity to look at the substance, Doctor?
I did, Howard, I did. Where did you collect the substance?
Well, it seemed that someone was attempting to steal my father's briefcase, but they were detoured when I returned sooner than they had anticipated.
Incredible, Howard. The tests I ran showed nothing out of the ordinary.
That can't be possible.
If the sample was collected from a pond with no life, there were dead plant cells and dead animal cells. The same kind of cells you'd find in a body of water where there had been much decay occurring. Small ponds that can't sustain life for whatever reason. Poor food supply, overpopulation, lack of predators keeping the balance.
Are you ready to order?
We'll both have the Vienna roast. That comes with a baked potato and string bean.
Extra butter on both?
Please.
Soup?
Split pea, please.
Excellent choice, Dr. Kane. This shouldn't be a moment.
Could you identify the animal cells, Dr. Kane?
The cells I found were consistent with Melicostrica decapoda, Cephalopoda coleoidea, Actinopterygogy cyprinidae with Chlorophyta and Ochrophyta, and possibly a marine bacteria.
So the substance came from a small body of water with dead crawfish, octopi, and mucus fish, along with marine plants? How is that possible? Aren't octopi saltwater mollusks?
Octopuses. Now you're on the trolley, Howard. It's scientifically impossible for them to live in fresh water. They need the salt.
Any chance there were any kind of minerals that were located in the sample?
Fantastic question.
Here are your soups. The roast should be up in 10 minutes, Doctor.
Thank you, Daisy.
You're welcome.
There seemed to be an interesting sand compound. It was made up of quartz, topaz, and tourmaline.
Crystal sand?
They aren't just crystals. They're all piezoelectric.
Electric conducting crystals?
They produce electricity.
Where on this planet does anything like that even exist?
It must be man-made. A private body of water? That wasn't the last test I ran either. Just for fun, I ran an electroscope.
Anything unusual?
I'll say a completely negative charge.
Highly unusual. That certainly does not help us figure out what could have possibly attempted to steal my father's briefcase.
Howard, may I ask you something?
I don't know what's inside the case, Dr. Kidd.
I see. Any chance we can maybe open it up and take a look?
I don't think that's a possibility. I don't know how to open it, for one. But the second thing is, whatever tried stealing it may not want us to look at it. My father went into a sanitarium shortly after acquiring the item in question.
Well, if your curiosity ever gets the best of you, I'd be more than happy to run some tests on that, too. Maybe even figure out how the thief can track you down and maybe scientifically stopping it. Maybe even run tests on the thief itself.
I don't think that's a good idea.
I'm sure you're aware of Miskatonic's library. We can do some research there first, get an idea of what we're dealing with. In fact, if you plan on globetrotting, it may be a good idea to take a few books with you as a precaution.
What books? I had an extremely difficult time getting over the last books I read, Doctor. I'm not sure if I'm ready to venture back into such volatile reading material.
Well, I can say this. You can't just do nothing, Howard. If you won't give up the case, you're going to have to protect yourself. And if this thief is as dangerous as you say, you're going to have to cover your ass one way or the other. You have to know what you're up against. And if you're not fighting sugar plum fairies, then Mother Goose isn't going to do it. You have to get something with more pepper, and Miskatonic's library is a pepper mill.
Here you are, gentlemen. Enjoy.
If there's a monster out there that isn't going to stop until it rapes you like an Irish whore, rips your head off and defecates down your throat, all while you're still conscious, I say, why not at least slow it down? There's no sense in dressing yourself up for a date like that. It's not going to buy you dinner first. What's the matter with your roast, kid?
I don't think I'm hungry anymore. What book, Dr. Kane?
I have a whole list for you, Howard, but I narrow them down to the best ones. Ones that will help you, not just with the thief, but other discussions we've had in the past. I was even able to get my hands on Libra Ibion.
No, there is no way. They don't even let people look at that book alone. They guard it heavier than Euclid's geometry. What did you do, Daniel?
This one's a formerly private piece from a collection that went to auction. Believe me, it wasn't too difficult. My associate discovered it before the man's children could figure out what it was. He gave it to them for a hefty fraction of the real price. But to the untrained eye, they were amazed by the deal.
Why would you give it to me then? I'm sure your associate, who could only be Huntington, didn't let it go for a song.
Correct. Henry did acquire the book, but he doesn't want this kind of book in his library. Books like this don't belong where some average Joe can just check it out and accidentally end the world. It needs to be where it can be protected and studied.
What do you want for it, Daniel?
It's funny how you drop the formalities. when you're being serious.
I drop the formalities when you're not acting like a learned man of science.
It's true. I'm as giddy as a schoolboy. I just want you to help me understand the book. I can't read Latin.
If Misotonics is heavily guarded, if I have to go out of town again, could I possibly leave my father's briefcase there? You can certainly run tests on it, as long as you do not, under any circumstances, open it. Not unless you are absolutely 100% certain that you can stop whatever the thief may be. Like, successfully stop it from finding you before it knows you have it.
You can leave it in the vault. But my schedule is pretty full up at the moment. I can't guarantee I'll have the time or resources to run tests. However, once you've translated the book, the original will be donated to the university as well. They're unaware that I possess a full version. Usually, it's just fragments that have been found. Usually from French translations. I'm sure that would certainly gain the dean's favor. Possibly open up some new avenues of research. Maybe even generate capital by taking it on a book tour to museums across the country.
I'm not making any promises, Kane. There's a strong possibility that I may not be able to get through the book. It's said to have side effects, you know.
Just approach it academically, Howard. Stay in the light. If you come across something that can help us with your thief trouble, we can research that too, making sure the side effects are infinitesimal to non-existent prior to use.
I'll stay in touch, Doctor. I'm not quite sure when the benefactor will be contacting me next, nor am I aware of the location I'll be sent to. But once I know, you will know as well.
I feel this is a very mutually beneficial agreement. If you need additional assistance with your cases, don't hesitate to ask, my friend.
Lovey! Old man! Just here.
Harry, Beth, so good to see you.
Howard, ready for our next assignment?
No. Are we the first ones here?
Yes, I do believe. Nick and Kenneth went to pick up Pixie from station.
How wonderful. Can't wait to see them again. So, this where Crowley said he'd be? Any thoughts yet?
He's a creepy fella, who knows? Maybe it's a test. See if we're up for the next challenge.
That's ridiculous. All this mystery. We already agreed to this rubbish. We were hand-picked. They're well aware of our credentials.
You do have a point. Maybe.
Oh!
Yes.
It may not be for us. It might be for others watching.
Yes, Lovey. That has to be it. Best way to keep a secret is out in the open. Our remaining party has arrived.
Mr. Tesla, Pixie, Kenneth.
Mr. Lovecraft, Houdini's. It feels like we just saw each other.
How lovely, Howard, Harry, Bess.
Smith, Swayze, and Tesla, old chap.
Greetings.
Drinks.
Hello, I am Benju. You want drinks? Tea? Brown?
Brown tea?
No, you want to get bent? You order brown.
Oh.
I think they're selling
Whiskey.
Oh no, we got other place. It called Blind Pig. We send you there for brown.
Brown and lime sound fabulous.
I think we should retire there then.
My friends, do not let your eyes see, nor your ears hear, that which you cannot account for. These historic events are designed to help you to be prepared for the thrilling, relentless exploration into the unexplained. Join us next week when the mysterious unknown is revealed.